Joining us now from Bridgeport, Connecticut is Robert Riggs. He's a Middle East expert and assistant professor of religion and politics at Bridgeport University. Robert, good to have you on the program. And let me start with word that the Pentagon now is considering going after the Islamic State sanctuary that it has in neighboring Syria. What do you make of that? This is something the Obama administration has resisted for a while, but now there seems to be sort of a recalibration going on.
Well, you know, there's a greater irony here, which was that the Obama administration and now recently Hillary Clinton was criticizing the Obama administration for resisting getting involved in the Syrian conflict. You remember a year ago when the Syrian chemical weapons issue came up, the Obama administration stopped before conducting airstrikes there. That would have been against the Assad regime. Now they're talking about conducting airstrikes against the Islamic State in their headquarters in Raqqa. So, you know, what changed? Not a lot in Syria, actually, other than the increased, the continuing deaths of, a horrendous number of civilians.
Do you think the Obama administration has been guilty of negligence here, Robert, in the sense that they did not try and go after the Islamic State months or years ago when they might have been able to in a more effective way, and now the terrorist group was able to spread to northern Iraq? Thousands more people were killed. Could this have been prevented?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that it could have been prevented. The Islamic State, existence could have been prevented. Perhaps even 10 years ago when it first existed as the Islamic State in Iraq, or Al-Qaeda in Iraq. The Obama administration is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here. They wanted to criticize the Assad regime, and they wanted to support so-called secular anti-regime forces like the Free Syrian Army, but in actuality, the strongest military fighters in Syria are the Al-Qaeda-affiliated Jabhat al-Nusra and the Islamic State. So, the Obama administration, really couldn't turn around and say we're going to support an Al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria against Assad. So I don't know that they really had any good choices 2 years ago, and I'm not sure they have any good choices now.
Well, and there we go. That's the challenge, right? This idea that if you now start targeting the Islamic State in Syria, de facto you are helping the Assad regime in Damascus by taking out, obviously, one of the threats to the regime. Talk to me about this United Nations report, though, coming out on the death toll climbing to 191,000 people killed in the last three and a half years in Syria.
Well, this is a horrible number. Not unpredictable, unfortunately, for those of us that have been following Syria and the Syrian, war from the beginning. Both sides have been committing uncounted atrocities against civilians. The Assad regime is able to kill more people primarily because they have an air force and stronger weapons, but their opponents haven't been innocent in this matter as well. And I agree with Navi Pillay. There was negligence on the part of the entire international community. But again, the real power brokers in the UN is the UN Security Council, and if Russia is supporting the Syrian regime, then of course they're going to veto any action against them. So the UN Human Rights Council really is a body with no teeth in this matter, unless they're able to somehow convince all 5 permanent members of the Security Council to agree on some type of sanctions.
Robert Riggs in Bridgeport, Connecticut for us today. Thank you for this, Robert, making time for us.
Thank you very much.